to another episode of Have You Heard? And today we are returning to one of my heroes. It's the wonderful Rick Wakeman. There we go. And the album we're listening to today is The Myths and Legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Now, I'm at an absolute loss when I see the paucity of reactions to Rick Wakeman's music on YouTube. There are a few reactors who diligently go through the Six Wives of Henry VIII. There are a couple of reactors who have bravely, like I have done, played Journey to the Centre of the Earth all the way through. And there's just a handful who have touched on King Arthur. And we're going to be doing Merlin the Magician today, not because it's the least reacted to. It's probably the most reacted to, but there's only two. I can't believe it. Such wonderful music. And then, I mean, I've got a copy of Return to the Centre of the Earth, which was made in the late 90s. And there's a song on there called Mr. Slow that I would love to play on the channel, but no one has touched it on YouTube at all. And I'm really worried that if I put it on, nobody will click and watch. Maybe I'll be brave one day and do it. It's such a beautiful song. Nearly 4 minutes of just, it's a song. It's not really Rick on his keyboards going crazy. It's a song. It's beautiful. It's got choirs. It's great. Anyway, we're not doing Mr. Slow. We are doing Merlin the Magician. And this is probably the most successful track on the album. A wonderful album. Absolutely superb. But I haven't seen more than 2 people react to it. Anyway, let's get stuck into it now. I've talked about all kinds of rubbish. Let's listen to the song. I mean, the album came out in late March 1975, got to number 2 in the UK, number 21 in the States. We'll talk about it a bit more afterwards. Just remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy yourself on the channel. And don't forget, if you want to request a song to share with our community, there are very cost-effective options on Buy Me a Coffee. Please have a look at that. But in the meantime, we're going to listen to Merlin the Magician by Rick Wakeman. Here we go. absolutely wonderful. Oh my. Uh, yeah, I do believe it's the most successful of the tracks. I mean, it's a great album, but this just has everything. Okay, it hasn't got vocals, it hasn't got Ashley Holt or Gary Pickford Hopkins singing, um, but that's okay. We've got Rick, and we've got the band, the rest of the English rock ensemble, who really are an ensemble in this particular recording. They are superb. They are Jeffrey Crampton on guitar, Roger Newell on bass, Barney James on drums, and John Hodgson on percussion. Uh, the Rick, of course, everyone probably knows this. Rick started writing this while he was in hospital recovering from his heart attack after the Journey to the Center of the Earth experience, and he he thought he came upon the myths and legends of King Arthur, and he thought this was great. But of course, to condense all of that into one 40-minute album would be horrendous. So he chose particular characters to focus on, and obviously Merlin was one of them, being a major character. And he read stories about Merlin, all the various books there are about him, mythical legend though he was, and three kind of stories prevailed in his consciousness when he started putting down notes. The first was a story where he read that Merlin would like to spend quiet time just working with his potions. So the quiet part at the beginning of the song, or of each particular section, is the quiet part that begins with just that simple but beautiful piano melody. That's referring to Merlin just working with his potions. Then he read a story about how Merlin would often behave like this crazy madcap um, wizard or nutty professor or whatever, surrounded by all of his bottles and potions and everything else. So the much heavier with part of the song with the moog going absolutely crazy, that refers to that particular story. And then there was a story of how Merlin fell in love and how with a young girl, and how he pursued her and chased her until he finally um, met up with her in a cave, and she turned the tables on him and shut him in the cave, and that's where he died. So that's the madcap third part of the tune, um, and you can imagine that, can't you? It's the type of music that would be played in perhaps a silent movie when people are chasing other people, or if you know him, if you're from the UK in particular, um, somebody like Benny Hill, a comedian who would always feature a madcap sequence where people would run around all over the place at about 10 times the speed they should do with this kind of music in the background. Um, but the band are so good, and they are so together and help Rick create these series of atmospheres. Really good band, and of course, mainly they were all they weren't famous. They were jobbing professionals, really, nothing more than that. Um, it must have been great to play with Rick on this particular album. Um, there we are. That is Merlin the Magician. uh, what did you think of it? Have you heard it before? If you're a Rick Wakeman fan, of course you've heard it before. What am I saying? But I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Put remarks in the comments, please. And I'd love to. I always love to read the comments and to provide feedback myself or replies to your feedback. It's really good to hear Rick again. We haven't played him in a while, and we ought to play more of his stuff, particularly as YouTube, not Facebook, as YouTube are being so negligent. And how dare they? And maybe one day we'll play Mr. Slow. But until then, thank you so much for having spent time with me today. Uh, I look forward to seeing you on the next video, which will be out tomorrow. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, everybody.